Okay, this is a Super Nintendo. This is the version 2. Goes by many names. The model number is SNS-101, much like the Nintendo top loader NES-101. Often called the Mini, SNES-2, SNES Junior. It has the multi-out with composite video, but it does lack S-video output. And once in a while you'll find one with a broken power plug. So that's another mod that we do once in a while. But this video, we're just going to show how to put a power indicator LED, and we're going to mount it under the power slider switch so that it's covered when it's off and uncovered and obviously lit when the slider is turned to the on. And this customer wants red, but any color will do. Unfortunately, the purple plastic they made the slider button of is not translucent, so we can't light it up like we do on the Nintendo top loader. That would be really cool. It's just not really possible. So anyway, you could put a violet or purple LED where we're going to put this red one. But as you'll see, it's a pretty simple job. So we'll take it apart. You'll need your security bit, and you'll need a long one to get down to these deep holes. There's only the 4 screws. Top just pops off. And we'll go ahead and take the motherboard out. I've taken the motherboard out mostly so I can clean it for the customer. I like to clean everything that I get in for mods, just so I know they work really well when they get back to the customer. And this is the LED that I normally use in the top loader. But as you can see, the LED is clear. And not diffused. So if I were to place that under the slider, whenever it came on, it would be very directional. Just a very small cone up from that LED would be visible. So I want to try to find a diffused LED. Okay, I found this one just lying about. I'm not sure of its brightness, but according to the multimeter, it's 1.47 forward voltage drop. And if I type in 20 milliamps into the LED calculator, I get a 180 ohm resistance needed for a 5 volt supply. So that's what I've wired it up for. I'll solder it to the board here and see what it looks like. I'm just going to do it the way I always do it. I'll go right to the voltage regulator, which is bolted to the heatsink. We always know the right leg of the 7805 is 5 volts. So here's where the regulator comes through. like to take my needle nose and turn the leads into little hooks. And then we know the middle pin is ground. Crank my hooks on there. Zoom in on that for you. Okay, and then we'll just plug it in and see what the LED looks like. Okay, so I'm plugged in. If I hit the power switch, there we go. I like it because it's diffused and it's more readily viewable from the side instead of just straight on. It looks a lot brighter straight on, of course, but you know, you want to be able to see this from across the room. Okay, so now we'll get the top shell and drill our mounting hole. Okay, there's no real secret to this part other than you want to be able to drill a hole that you can push this LED into and have kind of a press fit, so you don't have to glue it down. And I talked about this in the Genesis 3 LED mod. It's possible that this power slider will not slide up and down very easy if that LED pokes up above flush. So I'll use the slider to push it back down a little bit, and if it's not holding very well, then I will glue it down. But we know we want our hole right in the middle. Of course, this is I believe this is a 7/16. No, that's not right. This drill bit is properly sized for this LED. This is a T1 3/4 LED. I can't remember the size of this LED. This is the same bit that I used on the Genesis 3 LED video, so you can look at that one if you want to figure that one out. It's a standard size drill bit. So now I just want to push that in the hole. Use my needle nose here. I think it's even a little lower than flush. It's not touching, it's not hindering the slider movement. Focus in here, I'll zoom in here so you can see that. The slider moves up and down and LED is not touching. And it seems to be in there pretty well. And I will bend the leads of the LED over to be sure that they're not going to touch any of the metal casing on the actual power switch, because that's ground. Yeah, I think we're okay. Our LED's soldered up. Go ahead and mount that down. Actually, you know what? That won't leave me a lot of room. Matter of In fact, I don't think that's going to be long enough at all. So let's move that. Just heat them up. And we can use our multimeter. And we can probe for another 5-volt place, preferably somewhere down here. Okay, there we go. R26 inside pad. And there's a very easy place. Very inside pin of the controller port. And then it looks like the very outside pin is ground. So that will give me a lot more leeway on being able to insert this into the shell once I've mounted the board back into the bottom shell. Okay. Just to be sure, plug it back in again. Turn it on, and yep, okay, that works. Now I'll have a lot more lead for that. Beautiful. Okay. Now I'll easily be able to insert the LED. Just a little too far that time, but I was able to push it down with the slider. Feels like it's in there really tight. It's not going to shake loose. Posts are bent out of the way so it won't accidentally ground out. let's try it out.
Okay, let's see what the red LED looks like. That's quite nice. You can see it from a very low angle. It doesn't show up very well on camera, but it's quite bright. A purple or white one would look really good in there.